Hi everybody, my name is Sandy Allnock. Welcome to my stop on the Operation Ride Home Red Friday blog hop. We are turning Black Friday into Red Friday for our service members by encouraging people, especially those who have not yet donated cards, to take a few of those out of your stash and send them off to Operation Ride Home. There are links in the doobly-doo to the Operation Ride Home blog hop, and that has all the information you need to know for just getting a few cards off in the mail and getting started. You don't even have to take time away from your family and all these holiday preparations. But in the meantime, let's get busy on my card, and I'm going to start off with a joke. What's black and white and craft all under? My card. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to use a Tweetheart stamp set from Art Impressions, and it comes with an action wobble, but I am going to not use it with the little action wobble head popped on it. I'm going to use it as a one-layer card instead. I'm going to stamp it in unicorn ink on craft, so it's going to be a black and white image on craft paper. That's my bad joke. And I'm going to do it as a no-line colored pencil type of image on craft paper. I'm going to start with my darkest color here, my warm gray number 9 pencil, and these are Prismacolors, my very favorite. I've used these since my illustration days in college when I was studying and illustrating books, that kind of thing. And I'm putting in my shadows. My light is going to come from the upper left where my hand is, so my shadows will be on the lower right hand side, and I'm just going to continue to try to add those. And the colored pencil is actually going to become the medium tone. I know it's going to be surprising, you're going to think this is the darks, but we're going to get beefier. If you've watched my channel very much, you know I'm not afraid of contrast, so I'm just kind of starting to lay in the overall direction that I'm going on this image with my colored pencil. And since it's really sharp, I'm able to get into all these crevices in the texture of the Hero Arts cardstock. And one of the reasons I like the Hero Arts is because it's very soft, toothy paper. If you use craft cardstock that's kind of slicker than this, and you'd have to actually touch this to be able to tell the difference, so go ahead and get yourself a little pack. They're not expensive, and you can feel the difference between this and a lot of the others. And if you've been trying this technique on other craft cardstock, that could be one reason why you're having trouble with getting this kind of a look for it. With my white pencil, I'm adding all of my highlights in the upper left side. And again, it's going to turn into more of a medium by the time I'm done with all of this. But I'm trying to not get a waxy buildup. As soon as you get the waxy buildup, you end up not being able to really adjust very much in terms of going from one tone to another, that sort of thing. And I just want to try to keep it light if at all possible, and keeping the pencil really sharp helps with that. The tips of his toes are kind of sticking out past his body, so those will have some light on them. And his tummy is not in the light, it's in the shadow, but I want to put some red pencil over it and make it look kind of like a pink tummy. So I'm going to color the red over the white later. I'm coloring his little bow, which is shaped like a heart, very tweet, with Crimson and Scarlet Lake pencils. And I was doing this at an angle, so I wasn't able to see quite well, and there were a few spots that I didn't do as well as I could because I was just getting a weird angle with the light and everything, but I was trying not to stick my head right in front of the camera so that you can continue watching what I'm doing. So I'm just blending those as best I can, and then adding some dark shadows with, again, that same warm gray pencil, a really dark one. Super sharp nib on it, really, really, really sharp, because I don't want to end up getting like strips of color, stripes inside of that red ribbon. And now you can see I'm going over super light with my red pencil so it'll look pink instead of looking like red on that craft, and adding a little pink to his cheeks, that kind of thing. And now I'm going to start darkening a little bit more with my colors, and I'm going to add a little bit more contrast, a little bit more pop now that I have the basic image kind of together and have figured out the general direction I'm going. And in some cases I'll be adding more of the red in it because I can add a little bit more color just to add some life to a little black and white drawing. And then I will add a shadow underneath of him because that'll make him look a little more realistic if he's sitting on something. And this way you can tell that his little bottom is just landed on the ground and he's got his little legs up in the air. He's just so cute. I love this little birdie. So now I'm going to use my secret weapon, my Copic Opaque White. Yes, I am a Copic fanatic, but this works as well with colored pencil. So I am going to just paint on my details with my little brush. It's a number 2 Grumbacher brush, also linked in the doobly-doo. And when I paint this on, it's going to allow me to do a lot more detail with my little brush, because I'm adding like little curly hairs. That little thing sticking up on top of his head is much taller and higher than it was in the stamped image, so I can make him even more cute, if that's possible, than he was in the original stamp. And I can add lots more little tiny furry feathery details onto the highlights with the Copic Opaque White. This stuff covers most everything. I've noticed that on some of my Copic work, if I have really heavy coverage or if it's wet coverage and I haven't let it dry, then I will get color seeping through. But for the most part, this covers a lot of different things. So I really like the way that this Copic Opaque White covers. It comes in this big bottle, and it also comes in a little bottle with a super tiny brush. But I find the super tiny brush is really long and super tiny, so it's pretty well impossible to paint anything with. So I end up just using the big bottle and using a brush, and I think that's possibly the better option, unless maybe I just got a bad bottle and need to get a new one with a better brush head on it. But you can definitely see that I am adding some serious highlight to this, and all of that white pencil that looked like it was so bright before is now my medium tone. So this Copic White gives me a really good contrast, so that all of that other work that I already did just gets to sit in the background a little bit and add a little more dimension, a little more roundness to my image. And in some places I'm making actual hairs with the brush, and in some places I'm just kind of smushing the color a little bit and letting it be shapes instead. Give him a little highlight around the eyes and a little on his cheeks, so he gets just even cuter and cuter, if it's possible for him to just keep getting cuter throughout this whole thing. I'm finding myself even loving it while I'm watching this and doing my voiceover and my editing. Next, I'm going to use a Copic multi-liner. This is a brush that comes in the multi-liner set that I have. And again, it's Copic friendly, so that you can use it with your Copic markers and color over top of it with Copics, and it's not going to hurt anything. But it also works great for something like this when I'm working with colored pencil. And in some spots I wanted to go back in and add a little more pencil so that I get a better transition from the Copic Opaque White into the pencil. And I'm going to add a little bit more detail on my feathers, and just any place I can add more of that cute factor, I want to do it for sure, because it's just really sweet. So I'm going to add more underneath of him. I'm going to draw the feet back in, kind of, because I've covered over a lot of them as I've been doing this this work so far. And then I can go back in with my Copic Opaque White again and highlight those little toes that are sticking out. Do they have toes? Is that what birds have? I'm not sure if they call them toes or if they're talons or quite what they are, but having fun with this little thing, just so dang cute. And now I wanted to add a little bit something else to it, and I've decided some little Copic Opaque White hearts up into the card would be fun. I'm going to stamp my sentiment off to that left-hand side, and I thought this would have a really nice transition from the sentiment into the image itself. And I decided to go back in after I was done with that, because I wasn't happy with the little bow that wasn't working quite so well. And I used the black pen, and I also added a little bit more with the red pencil on top of it so I could soften the look of that really dark black pen. Add a few more little tiny red highlights, and my card is finished with its little sentiment hugs for my tweet heart. And though it's a one-layer card, it has a lot of love poured into it, and I have some nice layers that I put on the inside to make it a nice beefy card so our heroes can write home on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like button in the doobly-doo down below. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, then please feel free to click right here and do so. After you subscribe, you can click the little round button right beside the subscribe button down below the video, and that will give you an option to have the videos emailed to you so you don't miss any as they come out. And I've been doing them every like Monday, Wednesday, Friday-ish. something like that, and a few more in between. And I hope that you enjoy all of these very much, because I like making them for you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I will see you another time. Be sure to link up your card on the Blog Hop post. Links to everything are in the doobly-doo. Take care. See you. Bye.